Hello everyone, welcome to Rishmi Sharma classes again after a long time, and today we are going to discuss ampherometric titration, which is an important topic of polarography. So let's discuss this. In this, firstly we will discuss its introduction, then principle, then type of titration which it will give, and after that we will discuss about its diagram, or you can say working basis. Right guys? So let's start. Introduction. Ampherometric titration are used for the determination of both organic acids and inorganic substances. This determination is based on the formation of PPT, you can say precipitates, the complex redox reaction and acid-basis reaction. Ampherometric titration have been used to study precipitation, adsorption, stoichiometric, and to determine the solubility product. Principle. And ampherometry, the change in current which is passing between an indicator electrode. They are measured as a function of volume added during the titration. In it, endpoint is located at the inversion of two straight lines. It is necessary that at least one of the reactant or product should give a polarographic limiting current. It's not compulsory that both of should give, but one of, you can say, reactant or product. Clear? Only the factor affecting limiting current is the rate of diffusion of electroactive material from the bulk of the solution to the electrode surface. So you can say limiting current is directly proportional to diffusion of electroactive material. Right guys? It will depend on this. If the migration current is almost eliminated by the addition of sufficient supporting electrolyte, then type of titration curve is given as here we will discuss almost 6 type of titration. So first is polarigraphically reducible substance against the inactive titration. The titration of lead against the sulfate ions, and this limiting current due to lead ion would be measured at the beginning. As the titration is added, precipitate of lead sulfate is formed and limiting current decrease linearly with decrease of lead ions as shown in diagram. Right? At equivalent point, the current falls almost to zero, and this current will not decrease on further addition of titration, that is sulfate ions. Right guys? Second one is polarographic inactive substances against the active titration. The sulfate ions are titrated against the lead nitrate solution. So one is inactive, another one is active. Clear? There is a small current initially and it remains same as till point reaches. Almost same, you can see. Not perfectly same, but almost same appearances here up to end point. Right? During the process, the added lead will get precipitate as the lead sulfate. After end point, there is a linear increase in current due to increase in concentration of lead ions, that is active titrant. Here lead ions are active titrant and sulfate ions are inactive titrant. So the curve is shown as something like this. Right guys? Third one is, third titration is both the substance and titrant are polarigraphically active. That means in this both of will be active. Titration of nickel against the dioxide. In this type of titration, V-shaped curve is obtained when both reactant are polarographic active at applied potential. Then the product will become non-reactive and current is minimum at the endpoint. Here, this is V-shaped curve and current is minimum at the endpoint. Right? Next one is, fourth one titration is, one reactant is reduced, other is oxidized. titration of iodide against mercury. One is reduce, other one is oxidize. In this type of titration curve, the resulting titration has two linear branches. Both of these linear curve will be intersect at a point, something like this. Both of these will intersect at a single point, which is called endpoint. So this may be written as endpoint. Clear, guys? Fifth one will be the titration when only the product is electroactive. That means it's not about reactant, only the product is electroactive. The titration of arsenate against iodide ion. In this type of titration curve, a solution a solution of arsenate is titrated against iodide solution. This titration curve represents a cathodic curve, and the curve is called as cathodic current. Right? After the endpoint, there will be no increase in current. So it will remain same. Here you can see constant, right? Which is shown in figure. This is cathodic current. After that, it will remain same. Sixth one titration is only the titrant given. Yeah, you can say only the titrant will give anodic wave. Here, the titration of metal ions against the EDTA. If a metal ion is titrated against EDTA, then there will be no change in current till the end point. There will be no change in current till the end point, right? But there is a linear increase in anodic current, which is shown by figure. Anodic current, which is downward, right? So these are 6 types of titration in this ampherometric titration. After this, we will discuss the apparatus technique. Let's see. Apparatus technique. The ampherometric titration require much simpler setup as compared to the other techniques. And this polarographic analysis. This is because the potential is kept constant during the current is measured, so that we should require simpler formation, right? Mostly the DME, doping mercury electrode, and the rotating platinum electrode, that is RPE, are employed as an indicator electrode in the ampherometric titration. You can say DME and RPE are used as indicator electrode. RPE is very commonly in ampherometric titration. This RPE, that means rotating platinum electrode, can be fabricated by sealing a small platinum wire which is 5.8 meter long and 0.5 millimeter diameter. This is 5.8 millimeter long and 0.5 millimeter diameter. This potential wire is present in a glass tube in which mercury is filled for maintaining electrical balance. Here you can see that this is platinum wire and mercury is filled for the balancing. This is a glass tube in this electrode, right? Its simplicity, sensitivity and easy of working makes the RPE very useful in this titration. Some other indicators electrode are also used in this titration. These are rotating gold, silver, tungsten, aluminium electrodes, mercury pools and saturated calamine electrode, that is SCE, are commonly used as a reference electrode. In this titration, oxygen need not to be removed from the solution. That means oxygen can be stabilized in this solution because only the change in current is needed for the plotting of titration curve. We have to observe about the current, right guys? Also, it doesn't interfere the positive potential range in the solution. So last one is diagram. Let's discuss about diagram. I hope you are getting this. If someone has any kind of doubt or you want to ask any question, then you can comment about this. And if you like my videos, then please comment and share your views in comment section. Let's discuss about diagram. The interferometric setup is shown by given figure. The procedure for interferometric titration is almost same as potentiometric titration, right? As you have observed, the interferometric titration is almost same as potentiometry. After this is the figure, or you can say diagram. Interferometric setup for titration. This one is formation, solution is here for passing of current, nitrogen gas, yeah, you can say shifting of ions. Here is a battery is connected, resistance is connected, and almost this setup is covered, right? For the deduction of endpoint, it is sufficient to rate for few recording after and before the equivalence point. The exact endpoint is located by intersection of two lines. In order to avoid large change in solution during the titration is taken 10 to 20 times more concentration. Yeah, you can say more concentrated. Titration should be taken at least 10 to 20 times than the titrated solution, right? These titration show highly sensitivity. So, I hope this video is clear to all. So please like, share and subscribe my channel and press the bell icon for the further notification. Thank you guys.